Alrighty, and hello everybody, and welcome back to another big one on Big Review. Guys, yeah, it's another big one. It's another big one. Oops, this is going to be a bit awkward to film because of how giant this is. You can always tell it's going to be a tough one because I can barely move around my table. But it is finally time to open the Jujutsu Kaisen Maki Zenin scale figure, and I like Maki, even though I'm a little rocky with Jujutsu Kaisen. As a preface, I will not gripe on it that much, fingers crossed, but I do still absolutely adore Maki and her story arc. So wonderfully done. What a beautiful representation of just a strong woman and her story. So just so good. But let's go ahead and look at the box. This is probably gonna be a little shaky just because I'm very far away. My little fingies are just barely touching. So, but front, she's a little hard to see, I know, but that's because of the glare. It's kind of impossible to avoid. Cool purple design with like a maze looking design, all the important stuff, text. I cannot read this, but it says something. You know, I like showing the top and the bottom. There's really not much on this box. Boom, there's the bottom. Wow, really hard to get. Let's get her out. Oh my god. Boom, crash, bang, smash. Here is the shell. Look at it quickly. Shell! Alright, let's actually get her out though. Maybe I can be a little closer to my table. Oh no. This is gonna be awful. Okay. Once you get one, it gets easy. Oh my god, this is so scary. Don't know why this is set up the way it is. Oh, I opened it upside down, I guess. I opened it upside down. Silly, goofy me. Anyways, there's all these cushion things on the back for support. Another support thing, it looks like. Oh god, this is gonna be a pain in the butt to figure out, isn't it? More support foamy things. Let's get this out of the way. A lot of these are just in protective baggies, as they should be. A big wrap around Maki and her base, so they're sharing one. And then this thing is wrapped up too. Yippee! Let's figure out how to assemble her. Because there is instructions, but it's through a QR code, and I don't feel like dealing with that. Luckily, her feet definitely are just line up to the matching pegs. Easy. Look at this. They're supposed to be like a little key shape, and that does not match up at all. I guess it kind of does. Barely. Hole here to this one. Okay, this one actually also has a keyhole, but it's a little bit more obvious. It's supposed to slide into her hands, and then there's little pegs to go into her hand as well. Sorry I'm not talking as much on this one. It's kind of hard to really maneuver these. Yeah, a little hard to put the staff into her hand. What helped is that I matched this to the end, and then I pushed. You can kind of tell where the back is supposed to be, and then you can tell where the pegs are supposed to be. Because again, even though there is a QR code, I just don't feel like dealing with that, guys. I'm being so real. I just don't feel like dealing with a QR code. I'm gonna have to though, because I do need to know how some of these supports work. So you can sort of see how it's assembling. It's supposed to go about like this angle. Again, there's stuff to match up, so it's just easier to do that. So for the supports, this is where this one's supposed to go. I don't know, guys. It's kind of awkward, if you ask me. I know it's good for the life of the figure, but it feels also like it's pushing it up more than I'd like. My only assumption, I just don't feel like scanning a QR code because I use my phone to film this, so that's just a pain in the butt. This is probably to help support this, because it can push this up. So that would make the most sense, because it does look pretty cool when you have it propped up like that. Like you can see, it added a bit more dimension to it. But I don't know, it does make sense. This is pretty heavy, and it doesn't stay on its staff very well, so it probably does help. But for the purposes of this video and filming and recording, we're just not gonna worry about it because I don't want to. But anyways, here she is without the support stands again. I still think, even with that initial complaints, just because they are ugly support stands, and support stands have a purpose, but they are ugly. That is just a fact. She looks really good though. The pose, fantastic. All the effect pieces at the bottom, fantastic. The general flow of this figure, fantastic. Looking at it, there were definitely some things that I saw just in the initial bit that I think look a little silly, but I haven't seen anything that looks bad yet. So let's go ahead, let's get into it, and look at her up close. So first what we're going to start with is her face. Now the face is something that I did notice while moving, where I was like, okay, that looks a little bit silly. You can kind of see that her glasses are built to be looked at from basically only this angle. And I understand that it's for a purpose, but if you look from the top, you can see that her glasses are warped to her face. Like, it's really close on the left side and it's sticking all the way out on the right side. So it looks a little silly when you're looking a bit too close. However, her face still looks fantastic. I like the expression that they did for her. I love the hair that they have going for this. Again, it's very in motion. You can see that she's got all this movement, the wind blowing against it while she's moving. It's so cool with her ponytail. All those strands are really nice. The paint's really good. Her hair has multiple gradients of that like emerald-ish green. She's got her signature purple glasses. Her eyes are pretty nicely detailed. She's got brown eyes, but there's a little bit of a warm purpley feeling to it. Maybe that's just because of her glasses though. Yeah, I don't know if it's just brown or the purple that makes it the brown. It's brown, but the purple makes it look purple. There we go. But she still looks so good. That huge smirk that she has. Again, maybe not every angle looks great with the glasses. I mean, it does look good just because you can see her eyes, so there is that, but that top angle looks so goofy with her glasses. It looks great from the side, so that's nice. I really love this piece of hair. I just love that. So good. Moving right along though, just gonna move down before we move up into the sides maybe. Her uniform, it's the navy blue Jujutsu Kaisen uniform. Lots of color variants in the navy blue, some pretty good highlighting as well, like in the wrinkles of the sleeves. We've of course got the little itty bitty gold button. Ooh, gold button. And again, all the folds and just general texture of her outfit are really well done. I'm kind of glossing over a lot of things. This isn't a super high detail figure in the regards to like how her outfit looks and all the different parts and pieces. It's like, okay, Leia, we got a navy blue outfit. We got a white trim shirt sticking out underneath, a gold button. You can kind of see what's going on here. And I have a tendency to yap too much because I'm still kind of doing that right now. So I don't want to go too in deep for just like some navy blues and stuff. Since we're basically already way at the bottom, her leggies. She's got, again, there's more navy blue. This is a little bit more of a purpley navy blue than the navy blue of the outfit. There is a different tone to them, so it's a little texturally different. Not to mention, just because it's not as wrinkly as the outfit, it kind of helps break it up a bit. But there is a bit more purple. It's a little bit warmer. She's got her nice, shiny, glossy black boots with the brown heel and the silver belt buckle. Again, there's a lot of good colors being used here. With how simple Jujutsu Kaisen's outfits are, I'm glad there is such color variance, because they could have subbed this shoe just to be black with a gloss instead of even including any gray coloring to it. So it is nice that they have decided to include that on the figure. Looking at her big weapon, there's like this super light lilac-y purple for the cool effect. You can see that it's opaque at the bottom and then it gets more transparent as you go up to basically just being entirely clear. There's a deeper, darker purple for the wrapping part of this, like, I think it's just a staff. It's one of the cursed items. There is multiple colors though. There's some warm hues in here where you can kind of see light purple, but it's lighter purple. The little red, big fluffy fluff going on there. Lots of little textures and details in there. Again, I do like, as simple as these designs are, they did use a lot of color to make this interesting. So I do appreciate that. They use really good, deep, rich browns for the staff. I think this looks really good. Again, you can see how deep and dark it gets right here, and then how nice and light it gets as you go along. So, very nice. Her hands with her glossy nails. She has glossy nails. You guys know that's important on this channel. We love a glossy nail. I just like the general sculpt of the hand as well. I think they did a really good job with this. Try to get the other hand as well. You can see too, with the hands, they use more than one color. So you can see there's like a little bit of a deeper pink right here in the fold of her wrist. And there's a little bit of pink coloring on all the different knuckles as well. I think that looks really nice. It's a little bit more noticeable on this hand than some of the other ones. We gotta see the glossy nails, you guys. Glossy nails. The big red scarf effect, kind of hard to focus on, I think, just because of the shape of it. Yeah, you can see it's a nice, again, lots of deep, rich reds being used. There's also this like black metallic. It's, yeah, it's metallic. More gloss than metallic, but it's still got a little bit of that metallic sheen on there, but there's the black metal up top. But the cool red scarf at the end. Here is the other side as best as possible because this is so hard to show. And last but not least, the really cool base of the figure. It looks great. I mean, they use lots of colors for this, the different greens, browns. You can see there's like different little dirt patches. It is actually textured as well, so that's not just like a paint of brown, like a little brown paint blob, even though they did use a different color there. This is actually indented, so my finger is going lower at this part. All of the grass also textured. Now, even though I really like that this is so fancy, like with the different colors and the paints and stuff, it does feel a little arts and craftsy. Like these green pieces here, it seems purposely put on, but like they just look like, you know, when you're painting and you accidentally spill some paint. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from these green parts. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but it just feels, I used to do art and stuff, and this feels like, minus the actual texture that they built into it, because again, this is textured. I don't know, I feel like I could have done that. I feel like I could do this with browns and greens and some clay. So even though I love this base is indeed designed and detailed, I think it could have been made to look a little nicer. Maybe that just would have been using more colors, maybe using some more realistic colors or deeper, richer colors. I'm not sure exactly what I would have wanted from this, but it does feel a little cheap if you look at it too long. But I like that there's like this dirt ridge that goes around the edge. Again, it's kind of the idea of like where they just basically popped her out of the ground, put like a, you know, someone with a saw underneath of her, cut her out, and then popped it up. This effect piece is really cool. Again, I know these angles aren't the best. I'm trying my best here, but I like how much, again, action it adds. And I really like the cloud effect on the side, which has all the grass pieces that are sticking out too. I think that's really cute. They look a little silly, like when they're actually where they're attached, but that's like a small nitpick. I mean, that's kind of all of what I'm doing. She's got little things on the bottom of her shoe. I almost missed that. I love when you see stuff like that. Just like a little tiny marks. Little shoe design. And before we go on to final thoughts, we need to measure. She's big, so I cannot forget to measure her on this. So we're gonna go, if you face her front ways, from this end of the staff to the other end of her staff, I would put that at just around 15 inches. A little bit shorter, a little bit longer. It's a little bit hard to measure you know, when this piece is all the way back here. The staff just actually tip to the end. We're going to include the scarf as well. Let's go diagonal across the bottom. I'm going to try to measure this based on like how this is going to fit on your shelf. So that is 17 inches. The actual base, just under 11 inches, just under 11, but front to back, just under 6 inches. And then the actual height, so Maki herself is just above 8 inches, but the toppest point of her staff, and it could be a little bit higher if you actually use the support beams, I am not currently using them, that is just under 9 inches. So that gives you a general idea. Let's see, it's a little, like I said, tough to measure this stuff just because this is kind of an awkwardly shaped figure. And as well, we're gonna go into final thoughts. This is me on a different day in case you couldn't tell. One of the things I forgot to mention, and I don't know why I forgot to mention this, I don't know, maybe I was in a rush for no good reason. This could be a little bit better. This thing, it did fall off a lot while trying to prep this, but yeah, this is actually the only downside of this figure is this does not stay on and the support beam does not help. It is useless, if I'm gonna be honest. So there's that. But yeah, let's go on to the final thoughts. That is Maki Zenin. I think, even though she's a very simple figure design-wise, this was still a fantastic figure. And she was pretty expensive, so she should be. But I love Maki, so I wanted to get her because she is, even with my gripes with Jujutsu Kaisen, still one of my favorite characters, just in general. She's just a beautifully, wonderfully written character. And yeah, so obviously the support stands are a little awkward, and the instructions, even though I used to love to dog on them because I'm like, who the heck reads instructions? Me, I do. I read them every time I open these figures. But like there wasn't, the fact that I had to get out a QR code to use them if I wanted to, like I don't know, it's just a little bit annoying. I probably could have found it online if I searched, but it was, again, I'm recording my videos, so I just didn't, there's only so long I was going to search for. And not to mention, I mean, I figured it out for the most part, but I just, you know, I feel like it could have just looked a little different. Honestly, the staff, why, like, I don't know if we really needed the support stand. We could have just had it go to the ground. I don't think that would have been a big problem. The glasses looked silly, but you have to be looking at them from over top, which, to be fair, a lot of times with figures, you're looking at them a little bit over top. But I do think with the way that they angled it, it does help her glasses look good from most angles, which is smart. But yeah, I like this figure. So that's all I'm going to say. Hopefully this video didn't end up being too long. Fingers crossed. I don't know. I know how I am. But I will have more pictures of her on my figure Instagram. That is at Desunasis, as well as all the other figures that I have are posted on there as well, for the most part. There's also all these other wonderful places that you can follow me. They'll all be linked in the description down below. I appreciate all the support that you guys give. I appreciate you, especially if you are here at the end of this video. If you like this, you should subscribe and like the video. Every little bit helps, but I do make these about once a month. And I stream every Tuesday and Thursday, different games, figures, stickers, all sorts of stuff. And yeah, I appreciate everybody who's here. We have a nice, fun, cute little community, and I just have so much silly, good, fun, silly, goofy. I'm not going to yap anymore. Guys, I really genuinely have a yapping problem. I hope you guys had a great last month. I hope you have a great next month or so as well. Oh, what's the new one I'm doing? This is developed from recent streams. It's so stupid out of context. Eggs on your face. I will see you guys all next time. Bye.